But all right, what up, world? So, guys, I'm here. You know what's funny? I didn't even ask you guys your full first and last name.
Anthony Spooner.
Anthony Spooner.
Yep.
Christina Schmidt.
Christina Schmidt. All right, so guys, today we're gonna be doing an interview a little bit about Beat the Streets, Beat the Streets Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about a couple different things, a lot about wrestling life, and just wrestling stuff. You know, we always do wrestling stuff, so that's what we're doing right here. So, first question I got for you guys, real quick: how'd you get involved with wrestling? What kind of brought you to the sport? People always want to know that, like, how'd you start?
I want to know, I want to know yours.
Right. It's a good intro.
My dad
stories
made
here.
me.
Your dad forced it on you?
He made me
My
do
dad
it.
forced it on
Yeah.
me too.
So I came home from my last soccer practice of the season, my freshman year of high school, and he goes, "You have practice tomorrow at 2:30," and I was like, "No, like that was the last practice." And he goes, "No, you have wrestling practice," and I was like, "What? Wrestling practice?" I mean, I did judo, so I had some sort of, experience in grappling and stuff, but yeah, I was like super shy at that point, and I was just like, "No, I don't want to wrestle, and he's like, "Just try it for 2 weeks," and then I was like, "Fine, but I'm quitting in 2 weeks."
Mm-hmm. You sound like my daughter right now.
I'm quitting in 2 weeks, but I started up and I wrestled freshman through junior year of high school, and then senior year I had a shoulder dislocation that just wouldn't really stay together long enough for me to wrestle my senior year. And then at that point, I think there were only 13 women's colleges that had wrestling, and they were all out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
And
This would be like 2000.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be like around a city.
Right.
And I played soccer, so I went and played soccer at Notre Dame College for 4 years. And then I played rugby my senior year there. And then Mike Miller is a family friend. Like, he grew up with my cousins, and so I was actually at my cousin's wedding, and Mike comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, like, we're starting a women's team. Can you please come wrestle here? And I need a 55-pounder." And I was like,
55.
I still had another year of college because I had changed my major a couple of times. So I was just like, you know what? Sure, I'll go down there and visit. And then I got on campus, and I mean, Khalil, like, Spooner knows now too, but like campus is just like gorgeous.
Yeah, it's pretty
And I got here and I went into the athletic building to meet up with Dave Matthews and Mike, and they're like, "You ready to go on the tour?" I'm like, "I'm ready to sign. Like, let's go." So that's how I got into like college wrestling. I wrestled for a year here, and then I was GA here for 3 years. Khalil and I actually trained together to go to the U.S. Open a couple of times, and then I placed 8th at the U.S. Open twice, and now I graduated chiropractic college. I moved back to Cleveland, and then I just recently got involved with Beat the Streets Cleveland back in February, March. That
when the good adults come around, I don't let them go.
Yeah, we need more. It's funny, I'd be always telling people, like, we need less wrestlers in wrestling. We need more, like, people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need more doctors and warriors and everything else. Like, we got enough world champions. We're doing pretty good. Like, we won the world championships. We're doing pretty good. So,
My dad wrestled. My family actually wrestled. Actually, I didn't find out until after high school that my grandfather started the St. Paris Graham Wrestling Club.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah, he started.
Clout, man.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, though, I was attending St. Edward High School. So, like, I was kind of glad I didn't know, because I don't know how that would have been taken by my coaches. I actually got into wrestling to make friends. Like, I was a spaz, ADHD to the extreme. Like, still, like, it's a very heavy challenge for me every day. But back then, it was a cluster mess, right? Like, and so it was kind of like a perfect fit. But then, like, my parents tried to, like, punish me because of stuff I would do at school by taking away wrestling. And it was starting to, like, backfire. So, and we moved a lot. And so, one of the best ways, moving every 2 years or something in sports. You know, you can get into your clique of people, and I was athletically gifted, and in terms of like I could pretty much play any sport and compete.
Right.
And I just really didn't realize that I needed wrestling so much until I was done with wrestling. So just to make friends and I had some success, and I went and man, it was a wild ride. I didn't even like start I had a varsity lineup at St. Edward's. I was a senior.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like a tough team. To
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, it was wild, and even more so. I can tell you the wildest part. I was a sectional and district champ, which kind of came out of nowhere. If you read, you know, the rankings and stuff like that. However, like my team didn't care because there was 12 other district champs.
Right, you were one of many.
And then when I started coaching, I would go to some of these high schools and like their only district champ has like a whole shrine.
Right.
And I'm like, my name's not even on the ball. But that's when I really started to like, wow, like, no, I had some things working, and so I was always more doing the sport to prove something to myself, without really realizing like it was something I was meant to be doing.
Right.
You know, I thought I was gonna be a baseball player until I got cut.
Why'd you get cut?
I couldn't hit the ball. I think. Too many swings and whiffs in tryouts. So, but I grew up playing baseball, you know. I thought I had it. But then when I went to St. Ed's, man, like these kids were 6'2", 200,
right? Like,
freshmen.
You know,
like,
it's different, right? It's a different kind of athlete out here.
Yeah, like, oh, these kids are coming from everywhere. So it was just more of like, why not?
Right.
Yeah, just show up. And I think I feed into that a lot now. Like, I don't need kids to have too many whys early. Just like, why you just keep showing up? And I think a lot of times it's us. Right? Like, a lot of times these kids are just showing up because it's us.
Right. Yeah, they enjoy being in the environment, coaches, people around them. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, and it's like that's the win. Like you showed up.
Right. Yeah, you know, man, some kids need it. Like, I don't think they understand how much they need it. Like, y'all need to be removed from the negativity and just be literally anywhere else. And the rest of the room is good. It's a good place.
Wrestling room is a great place to be.
Padded walls, small space.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Once you realize you want to be trash, it's like, how did this happen to me? All right, so how did you get involved with Beat the Streets? So like, who asked you to do that?
Actually, my mentor, Tadaki Hata. It's like we have a true legend in our backyard in Cleveland. You know, he's been at Ed's coaching, Ignatius coaching. But
yeah, give us some background. I don't really know who.
So Tadaki was a two-time national champ for Oklahoma State, but back in the 70s. Sorry, Tadaki, I don't mean to get that wrong. But
hopefully he does see this. I'll be listening.
He will.
Oh yeah, he will.
He will
see it.
But he was did 5, I don't know if you call it tours, but like he was Olympic coach for 5 years, women's freestyle. He actually started the first ever Mexican national wrestling team, freestyle wrestling team, and that went down for one Olympic. I think it was like the 2004 Olympics, something like that. And he was their head coach, but he's just he always wanted them around the kids, just because of how he broke it down. It was beautifully simple, like, and I try to tell kids this so much, right? Like the higher levels you get, the more simple the sport is, the details. Remind me to tell you, Arturo told me a sweet quote about details. He says, what's the difference between a T, an I, and an L? I'm like, well, details? He goes, you don't cross your T's or dot your I's, and it's all L's. That's clever, dude.
Right?
And then, but it's that simple, right? The little details. So he asked me to go with him to a meeting, and it was like this first meeting at a college, John Carroll University, and just some people that old heads and young coaches and Tadaki and it just I knew that wrestling was more than wins and losses.
Right.
And Beat the Streets makes that make the most sense.
Right, that makes sense. So what do you actually do for Beat the Streets? Like it was like your job description.
Just got hired as head of mentoring and coaching, and for me that means like I take a lot of pride and put a lot of work and research into being able to mentor our mentors and coach our coaches, but like really make sure that all our coaches understand that they're mentors first.
Gotcha.
That's it. Like if I could take the coaching word out of it, I would too. But you know, we are coaching.
So what do you actually teach your coaches specifically? Like if you give me like an example.
Yeah.
Like how you actually coach them.
Like leave your ego, like check your ego at the door, right? And realize you're not coaching a sport, you're coaching a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that like could you like, and sometimes I'll challenge them, like, could you imagine being the reason a kid quit a sport? Like,
Right. We talked about that.
yeah, that's on you. That's not on them.
Right.
Like, you were the reason a kid didn't want to be somewhere. That's horrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot.
So
of
what's
that.
the opposite of
A lot
that
of
look
that.
like? You know? And then I get the kid, just get them talking, and I just try to ease the fact that it's not the moves and what order you're gonna teach and how long is your sprints gonna be and how many. Come on,
Right, all the
like,
technical
yeah.
BS, right? It's not really that important.
Like you're only screwing up if they're not like smiling and asking, when's the next competition and can practice be longer and
Right.
things you're like, really? It's all right. Can we go every day? No, I don't want to be around you. I love you, but don't do that to me. So really it's about working with, we are tapping into a lot of college kids. And what I really like about that is we learn 90% of what we teach someone else.
Right.
And so when these college kids are trying to, create these goals, and we got D1 around us, Cleveland State, and then John Carroll, D3, Baldwin Wallace, Mount Union, I'm forgetting one nearby, Lake Erie College, right?
Yeah,
You start to pull these kids in, and now they're mentoring, and I swear, Cleveland State has seen a direct correlation of like the level of culture in the room. And what these kids are putting out because they just spent the whole spring and summer telling kids how to be, how to be great.
Right.
I mean, you better start practicing what you preach then.
That's
All right,
right.
go back because now they're watching.
Yeah.
Right, they're gonna go to your duel. And if you aren't doing what you told them that they should be doing, that's
sure.
on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it's like that accountability and just knowing. So it's really, truly just like a person first, relationship first aspect, right? And that it's a family. Like you're also coaching, whether it's a single mom, whether it's a estranged father, whether it's a father who's trying to spend more time with his son. Like that is also the kid. So you don't get to ignore that too, right? And I'm just hoping, trying to make that make sense every time we, come together on a Zoom or something.
Right.
And just prepare them, right? And I can say USA Wrestling does a great job of that too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I think Safe Sports is a good start.
Oh yeah.
Realizing.
Yeah, we needed that. We needed that.
God.
Yeah, that's just like the accountability aspect. I feel like went through the roof. I'm like, yep, you have to be accountable now.
Yep.
And the kids should be holding you just as accountable.
Right.
Not just thinking, oh, you're an adult, what can I do?
Right.
No, call me out.
Like, there are absolutely things you can do, right?
Call me out. And so we're blessed when great people come around, and like I said, I don't let them go either. That's the other part.
No.
Right. So how'd they pick you up?
So I graduated in September of 2020, which was a weird time to graduate.
Well, yeah, that was like
At
right
all,
after, the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we were like in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I moved home back to Cleveland. I hadn't been coaching for a while, and I just felt something was missing, like really bad. Like I felt it down deep in my core
Oh yeah.
person. And so I was like, what is this? You know, like why do I feel this way? And you probably know the lasting purpose statement of life. It's
Oh, yeah.
to give, to do, to love, to serve out of one's own abundance.
Right.
And I've always held that lasting purpose statement close to me. And I'm just like, how do I do that? And I was like, I've always wanted to, you know, get involved with Beat the Streets. I wonder if Beat the Streets has a Cleveland chapter. And I just looked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, it's here. How do I get involved in this? And so I just impulsively sent an email to our executive director.
Yeah, we got
Demetrius.
a great dude at the helm. Like, who
Yeah.
also understands, like.
So who's running it?
Demetrius Williams.
Yeah, Demetrius Williams is our executive director for the last 3 years, and he continues to show that, you know, he's putting the kids first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when I got my job, the first thing he told me is, all I need you to do is make sure the kids have everything they need to succeed, and our coaches. That's it. Whatever it is, call me, text me, ask for it. You know, ask for 10 of it, whatever it is. You know, I'll find a way to get it to you.
So how do you guys start the Beat the Streets chapters? Like, where did Beat the Streets start? Like in New York?
New York. It started in New York with a pretty major donor, kind of like an angel donor.
Gotcha.
You know, New York's got those hedge fund
Yeah, they did.
gentlemen walking around with too much money, and
Yeah, I mean that's good.
and a guy named I think Brendan Buckley. I don't want to butcher his name, but he's the executive director.
Okay.
Just recently stepped down, just to pursue more things with Beach Streets. But they've been doing it for about 10 to 15 years. And then I don't think people really realized until they started showcasing those matches.
Yeah, dude, that's the only thing that I know about Beat the
Yeah.
Streets. Like those guys wrestling on the aircraft carrier. I was like,
Uh-huh.
yo, that's fly. I'm like, yo, I want to
That's
wrestle on an
pretty
aircraft
cool.
carrier.
Right?
Oh,
Yo, you know,
yeah.
you're watching Jordan Burroughs out there slipping and sliding, wrestling
With
Frank
Camizo.
Camizo. I was like,
Oh
yo,
my
that was
God.
wild.
You're
Yo,
like-
that's what we know. I'm like, yeah, Beat the Streets is tight.
Exactly.
Yo.
And they do major things, and it's really just about establishing a nonprofit.
Right.
You know, and realizing you are a major nonprofit, and this is a thankless, you know, situation. Like you're trying to convince people that they need something that they don't know anything about.
Yeah, they don't know they need it.
Right.
And you it's hard as hell. You're like, yo, come do this tough thing that has a lot of rewards, and they're like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
And which kids do you want? All of them.
Right.
You sure? Yeah.
Sure.
Like, wait, what?
Yep. all of them.
No. Well,
Like
just give me a
even
chance.
even the unathletic ones.
Right.
It's like, wait, hold on.
You're beaten, trodden.
Right.
Yeah.
You want the kids that are 5'1"?
Right.
Like, yo, I
Don't
can't
suspend that
imagine
kid. Just send them to the Beach Streets practice.
That's literally what
Right.
everybody says. Like all of our coaches are just like, oh, they were fighting. Please have the principal
Right.
send them to
Absolutely.
us.
Mhm.
Yeah, they got suspended. Send them to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we try to really focus on Cleveland. We had another good mentor as we were starting our program, and Jeff Marsh. He wrestled from Michigan, but he was our executive director of Beat Streets National. So there is like a national umbrella that's really starting to grow. Ben Ryder is doing it now, you know, succeeding Jeff Marsh, and he's definitely the man for the job. Like you'll see soon, kind of around Giving Tuesday, you'll see a release of about 11-minute clip of what happened this summer.
Yeah.
It
Big
was,
things.
dude, goosebumps, right? Like goosebumps,
Oh, yeah.
goosebumps with what happened out there. And we brought 9 chapters together in Chicago, 4-day intensive camp, like kind
How
of
many
gathered.
chapters are there?
It's growing. We're about 13, 11 to 13. And I'm not gonna spin them all off. And they're like, there's other ones that are just about to be official chapters. Atlanta needs one.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Atlanta
Yeah.
needs one. Like I planted to see with Omi. Like, just do what you do with your kids here,
With this organization.
right? And use your whole team to do it. Like you can just go to the Atlanta Public School District and see where you fit in.
Right.
So that's big on us. Cleveland Metropolitan School District has 40 to 60 K through 8 schools.
So you guys literally just go to the schools, and that's how you get the kids for the programs.
Yeah, and the hard thing, one of the hard things we have is like mats.
Yeah.
Providing the mats.
Yeah.
Having enough space.
What about like location? Like, how do you guys deal with locations?
School.
And so you like host it at a school?
Yep, we host it at their school. Cleveland does a good job at providing time for activities, but there's no organized athletics. There's none.
Gotcha.
For the entire school district, K through 8. And so
That's kind of weird.
and then these kids go into high schools and they're fresh.
Right, they're 10 years behind all the kids that started in the 6th year.
Yeah, but they're still finding success, like against people that have been doing it for 10 years.
Right.
And you're like, man, just if we could have got you earlier.
Yeah, that's that dude. I swear, that's like the story of every Georgia wrestler. Wish we could have had you earlier.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm telling you, my times I've heard that. Oh man, crazy.
It is, and so I think we're really close to establishing like that first league. Like whether we have 10 to 12 schools. My job is to make sure each of those schools got at least two great coaches, right? That follow a philosophy that we're about. At the end of the day, we're trying to positively alter the current trajectory of life for our youth in Cleveland. And I promise you, we go to the most difficult schools first. Not always the school that asks us and prepare for us, but the schools that
you think need
don't wouldn't even think about asking for something like that.
Yeah.
That's where we go first.
That's awesome.
It has been, and it's made the difference, man. I mean, this fall we were supposed to do like 17 schools.
Dang.
We didn't have coaches for that. I was like,
how are we gonna figure that out?
no, but the spring when all the college kids aren't preseason, that's when it blossoms. Yes,
Okay.
And that's huge. That's huge. I think, have you seen that same growth? Because she was one of my ride or die fall coaches, and she firsthand got to experience it for the first time. Like, oh, this is how it works. Like, oh, it's like just the bones of what we do. And visiting and doing a lunchroom takeover or a gym class takeover. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I can't do it with if it's me, right? It's an us. It's a we. Like, I try to fix that language all the time because it takes a village. And I think we've kind of gotten away from that.
Yeah, we sure have. Yeah, man. I think American values have kind of strayed away from that a little bit.
Yeah, and then trying to individualize these kids and like elite.
Yeah, very much so individualistic, which has not been the way that American society blossomed to begin with anyway. So I really don't understand what's going on, but yeah, you're definitely right about that. Yeah, you're definitely right about that one, man.
And then I tell you, I think what I've found is that when you start to show that that's truly what you're about, because that's all they want to see. They're waiting for you to not be consistent.
Right.
And then
Totally.
Why wouldn't they, right? Because I've had principals that say, "You promise me that you'll be here.
Right.
I'm not going to let you do this to my babies. Like, you are not going to come in here and then just disappear." Yeah. Like, what's the follow through? What's the end game? We have it. We're working on having a facility this spring. 24/7.
It's like an actual club, standing.
That will change.
A
A home, right?
home.
Oh, that will
You
change.
guys got like blueprints for this stuff? You guys got like something written up?
It's like an
I know
abandoned.
some people, man.
See?
Yo.
Yeah.
See? Do you guys have
You
that?
know what I'm
same-
saying? Yo,
Yeah,
people know
send them
people.
her
Like,
way.
yo, that's one thing. That's
Send
why I'm
them
making
her
this
way.
podcast. Like, I'm telling you right now. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this. I want to network wrestling more than any other sports ever network. It's crazy, man. I was like, literally last night I was watching this documentary about FIFA corruption. And I'm like looking on that, I'm like, man, these guys have so many donors.
Wow.
There is so much money.
So
And I was like, they have so much influence. These guys are influencing national governments, world agencies. I'm like, man, they out here playing soccer. Like these and the athletes have no idea like what's going on, obviously. But like it's just the organization itself. It's like how much influence they have globally. And I'm like, man, if we had like a fraction of that in wrestling,
That's it.
dude, we could get some traction,
That's
man.
it.
Like, for real.
Like I'm saying, like you see a basketball player find, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
Give me $100,000. I'll show you what
I'm
I
trying
do.
to tell you, yo, the whole facility be good for a year. I'm like,
That's
man, y'all
right.
blow so much money so fast.
Right.
I'm like, man, wrestling's so frugal. Like, we don't even understand how frugally we're doing it.
Right.
We're doing it with
And,
no
and
money.
we're not like this dumpster.
It don't cost,
of-
right? It don't
of
cost nothing to
sports.
wrestle,
Yeah,
bro. Get some
exactly.
shoes.
I need a singlet and wrestling shoes.
Used, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you don't have the
Gear.
singlet, put on a t-shirt and shorts.
Thank you, right? Yo,
That's it. If you want wrestling shoes, I'll get you some
It'll
new
be
socks.
alright. Right?
You guys
Somebody's
It'll
got
be
some
alright.
that you can
We'll
borrow.
figure it
They'll
out.
have their own
Get on out there, man. Go
No.
do something fun.
Yeah, man. I'm all about that. That's great, actually.
It is, and I just love that. I just love that this is. I worked hard for the passion, and I was inspired by somebody became a real close friend of mine. He's my son's godfather. First time I started coaching in high school, he taught me what it's like to actually care for youth. And it was as simple as me wondering why certain guys weren't kicked off the team yet. And wondering why like we are putting up with this inconsistency and why we're not setting, this is happening because we're not being strict enough. This is happening because our expectations are down. And he's like, what? I go, well, why does he keep coming back to the room and then giving us some excuse and leaving early? He goes, Tony, he's here.
Right.
Yeah, I know he's here. That's what's driving me nuts. No.
You're like, I want him gone.
Where
Follow the
else?
rules.
Where else is he gonna go? And what control do we have over him if he's not here?
Right.
At least we know that if he pops his head in for 20 minutes before he takes off, that I can at least make him feel loved for 20 minutes. And I don't know how that's gonna change his day. And everything changed for me after that point. Everything. And that's where Beat the Streets, that was the first seed that got planted in my heart. Because special education was important to me. That's what I was teaching. I had a sister with Down syndrome born while I was in high school. And she recently passed away to a rare disease. And it's been intense, but it's fueled a lot, right? So I thought I had the heart. Man, I love that kids. Come on, but I didn't.
Right. Yeah.
Because I
I
kept making it. I kept pulling away opportunities. Like, oh, you don't want this opportunity?
Right.
Well, how many chances did I get? Ton.
Yeah.
I got endless chances.
Yeah, I got every chance in the world to do this.
And yet, when a kid's difficult, you start limiting their chances. No, they need more.
Mm-hmm.
You need to double their opportunities. You need to triple their chances.
Right.
I know that we're giving these kids a better situation, but I'm past that. We are giving them more situations, not just better. The better's already there. We just gotta make sure it's more and consistent and repetitive. And so that's what is so amazing about us having a kid down here visiting Life University out from Cleveland, just
That's
because
awesome,
she has such a love for, like she said, to give, to do, to love, to serve. And
Look at that. He's got it memorized.
I know, right? I'm like, I didn't even have it memorized. I'm like, wait, what was it again?
well, I memorized it because Jackson goes, I love that quote, but why to love? I go,
Oh yeah.
Jackson, dude, you're here because of love, dude.
Right.
He goes, whatever. I go, say it. Say you love me. Say it. He's like, no, dude. But I do.
Yeah, man, that's
I'm like, you
funny.
just don't want to say it, huh?
He loves you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. If you don't love your coach, man, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
That ain't it, dude.
Right.
Oh man.
And it's amazing to see them, like you said with Nick, it's amazing to see them love in their way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's part of my job is teaching these coaches and mentors how to see it. Hey, that kid flicking you off every single time you come to practice, that's him saying, I love you.
Right.
You need to ask him what's wrong if he doesn't flick you off when you go to practice.
Oh,
that
for
one,
sure.
there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Why didn't you flick me off this morning?
It's so funny, dude, that you gotta say this, right? Yo, literally got this kid right now, comes to practice, dude, I'll be on it all the time. And my boss, Coach Charlie's just like, yeah, man, just like be easy on him, you know, because he's like a senior. You know, he had siblings and they're in college now, wrestling D1. They're all doing it like correctly, right? And I'm like, you know, he's like the baby. And man, dude, I'll like be hard on my boss will be like, yeah, man, let's not. He's like, and it's funny that you say like, at least he's here, because that's what Coach Charlie always tells me. At least he's here, because he could be somewhere else doing whatever he wants to do. That's not the right thing. That's not going to get him to where he needs to be. But instead, he's here, like in my face, getting on my nerves. And although, like, yeah, I don't want him to like touch my hair, and so he'll do this thing where he like touches my hair. I'm like, get off me! I'd be like wanting to like double like him, but you know, it's like constantly like mess with me. And I'm like, you know what, Coach, you're right.
But that day he's not messing with you, you're gonna be worried about.
And you know what? Whenever he's not at practice, I'd be like, where is he at?
Right.
I'll be like every single time. In the back of my mind, I'm like, where they at? I'm like, where's he at? Like every single time.
I don't have that pain in my ass right now.
I know. I'm like, wait, what?
There's something wrong.
Exactly. Yo, that is so funny, man. It's like life always comes full circle like that.
It has to.
Yeah,
it has to.
always.
And I think when they start to realize that, they start to see, you know, that the consistency or just the love is reciprocal.
Right.
They have their ways of showing it. Right.
Yeah, they always do.
Like
always.
I was saying with Jackson, like the kid on our visit, when I first met him, it was 7th grade. He had just cold cocked, you know, his female teacher
Oh man.
at a separate facility.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, and when he came in, he was even in the mindset to like brag about it.
Right.
Like, man, she had coming.
Like, dude.
Wait.
Like, hold on.
Right?
Yeah, it's like.
And I got 2 years to work with him. You know, in 7th grade, I couldn't get him wrestling. There was too much work to do. You know, he was biting me, clawing at me, spitting at me, cussed me out. He cursed me in 100 different languages, I think he thought. Speaking in tongues is so angry he can't. He doesn't know. Just starting to stutter. He's just, dude, breathe. No!
Right.
You say no to breathing?
Okay, fine.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Where you're like, dude, breathe. No, man, you ain't gonna what?
Wait,
Breathe?
what?
You're just gonna stop breathing?
You
You're so
watch
mad.
again,
You're so
right?
mad at me. You won't stop breathing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how this works out. Right? And so, but he, you know, it wasn't like I wasn't dragging him to do it. I was just like, hey, I'll be at practice today. Door's open. You know where it's at. You need shoes? You need car? Like, no, hang on. That's right. Those singlets, man, it's gay. Like,
Yeah, that's what they always think.
how is that an insult? Like, I don't understand.
Right. No, we pass that now.
This insult? Like, I don't understand where this conversation's going. And so, he this year he sent me a text, and it gives me goosebumps just to think about it now. But it was his first acceptance letter to Gannon University.
Oh, that's awesome.
$20,000 offer, and he just said, "Thanks, coach. Can you take me to Gannon?"
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Feel like it's on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right? Absolutely. Right? Don't even worry about it. I got your lunch. You know, right? Whatever you need, man, we're going. And so, those are the trophies. Like, I think, you know,
Right.
those are our medals as coaches, right? Those are those are the notches on our belt. Like,
Right.
you know, when I don't,
Like nobody counts the wins.
I don't know
unless
his record.
like that
Yeah,
in there, right? Like we don't even know, right?
No, not at all.
No.
But they try to, but you know, I was going back to where I really had my best seeds planted and how to really mentor and coach. You know, Coach Newton taught me, you win or you learn, right? You win or you learn. Losers quit. So as long as you keep showing up,
Yeah, you're gonna get better.
you're not a loser.
Yeah.
So really, everything's win-win, because learning is winning, and winning is winning. But
Right.
man, what do you remember more, your wins or your losses?
Yo, definitely the wins.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
Right, and
Right.
you're probably
I got
not even talking matches right now.
Nah, not even.
Right?
It's like hitting. I have more memories hitting a move that my coach really wanted me to hit than I do like actual significant victories or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like just hey, positionally this worked, and we talked about it and it worked in real time. Like that's what's better than
dude, that's
the rest.
in the corner too. Like
right,
that was
you
your
get
give back to the coach too.
Right,
like you hit it and you wink.
you're like yes, like,
You see
the
that?
plan worked.
You see
You know,
I taught him that.
right.
I taught him that. And then you get
man.
flipped over and pinned. I didn't teach you
Yo,
that.
for real though.
That wasn't me.
You know what's funny?
That's
What's
not
actually
me.
real funny about that, right? So my high school coach, he used to teach us so we do a lot of Greco. We did like a ton of Greco. There was this double overhook throw that we used to run in the room. That dude, I never really got it in high school, like ever really. Like there was a kid actually named Andrew Webb who won Fargo.
Oh, yeah.
He would just bomb people with. He was so nice with it, and it was just basically you just get the double overhook, so you just kind of you let the guy settle. And as you put your feet in the middle, he's got to go, right? It's just positionally, it works when it works, right? You just got to be patient. And I probably threw myself to my back doing that move like 800 times in high school. Get to college, boom, it's just hitting. I don't know why it's hitting, but it's hitting, man. It's hitting good. And I'm like, oh man, this is working. And like that for me was like more of a catalyst to get better at wrestling than almost anything else. Because like I just couldn't do the move. To me, it was like it wasn't gonna work for me until it did. And I'm like, oh man, it worked in real time in a match. I pinned the kid. I was losing, threw him, one pin. I was like, wait, it works. I was like, it's crazy. I thought it wouldn't work, but it worked. And I was like, that was almost better than me winning the state title.
Trusting,
like for real.
like trusting in time.
Yeah, trusting it and saying, hey man, it's gonna work if you do it right because you drilled it and you put the time into it and you did it and your coaches put it in the system and that's how it works. And so
That's
man,
beautiful.
it's weird because like that was like a weird missing piece for like my Greco because like I could turn people in parterre, but I wasn't like a big thrower. Like I didn't have like a ton of 5-point throws. You know, I just like could hit a go one. You know, got a go bench. But yeah, it just ended up working out, man, like really well.
That's incredible. I got cheated out of. I did Fargo and stuff, but St. Edward tie-ups was back out.
Yeah,
you know,
a
like,
lot of coaches do that.
You know what I mean? Like don't mess up there.
Yeah,
like don't mess around up there.
there.
Don't get
Like what?
Like,
He's forcing it. How can I not?
And I learned now, like that's
damn.
what I'm good at. I'm good at tossing people.
Right. I need to use my hands. Right?
People. I got hips, man. Like so, I like almost, I love it now, and learning from everybody.
oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I learn from those kids
Yeah.
every day. All the time. All the time. And you guys, because most of them are in some kind of educational field, and I mean, I wasn't, and just working with the kids and everything, and so I learned so much from you guys and the kids every
And the
day.
kids, man.
Right.
If you're listening to the kids, they're teaching you a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I know, and it's like unfiltered knowledge. It's like
Yeah.
you never know like what exactly it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But it can be completely random and off the wall.
We just had like I'm back coaching high school. Actually, this winter, I was just telling Christina, like, because of my new job, I'm the head coach for a youth team, a middle school team, and a high school team all this winter.
Oh snap!
Right? I was like, wait, is this gonna work? Anybody doing this?
Wait a second.
Oh no.
Right.
What am I doing?
Right? But so we were at practice for the high school team, and Newton put him in a circle. And I was like, hey, what's your fear? Stuff like that, or what's something that people don't know about you just by looking at you. And I always like to push like that comfort zone, right? And so I was like the second one up. I said, my parents divorced when I was 5. The kid that hasn't said 2 words in 2 years. Mine was 3. I said, what? It was my parents divorced when I was 3. Oh damn! Like that's what you chose to speak up on. And it's like, and you're almost like, what do you do with that? Love on them.
Yeah.
And I was like, acknowledge it. Like, wow.
Right. Like you've had some similar
Right.
experiences.
And even though it's similar, like I'm not gonna pretend I can relate. Right. I think that's where a lot of coaches go wrong. Like I've been there before. I've done it. I got through it.
Right. Who cares?
You just like I'm just an old head, like just some old dude to these kids. Like,
Yeah.
who are we? Like, you're just a young, gifted, female wrestler. So what? Well, I love Coach Christina. You know what I mean? Like, I love Coach Reggie. I love Coach Armstrong. I love.
Yeah.
Right? And when you can teach these young, very bravado-based young men to tell each other, "I love you,"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
everything changes.
Yep.
Everything changes, and I can't stop enjoying that. So maybe I do all this because I'm just selfish as hell.
Yeah, man. Yo, that's what it is.
I'm just feeding my own self.
Good, yo.
And so I just love that it is hard. The beautiful struggle. Right? Like, life is hard, and if somebody is telling you it shouldn't be, they're probably also trying to sell you something.
Yeah, no cap.
You know?
Yeah, for real.
Like, here's the easy way out for $5.99. Like,
Yeah.
man, like, life is hard. Stop.
Right, ain't
But
no shortcuts, no nothing.
What kind of hard though? Like, I'm married. I got 2 kids. It's hard. But man, I love that. That's my heart. Like, that's my struggle. I'll take that. I've worked hard for that struggle. Think about that, right?
Right, to
Working
get there,
hard
yeah.
to be in the struggle.
Of course.
There's a lot. There's a lot, man. So I'm just excited to keep meeting these coaches, meeting you, meeting Coach Christina, meeting people that give you goosebumps when they interact with kids you love, right? And I get a lot of crap for always using the term babies. Like, they're my babies.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
One coach was like, "I coach young men, not babies." I said, "Okay, good luck with that." Fine. But, like, they're somebody's baby.
Right.
And we gotta remember that.
Mm-hmm.
They're somebody's baby. Somebody will jump in front of a car for them. And then sometimes it might not be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There might not be anybody that would sacrifice themselves for that kid.
They need somebody.
Right?
Yeah, everybody needs somebody.
Right? And, like, we are who we are because somebody loved us. That's Dr. Cornell West. And if you think about that, how many times was that a coach?
Right.
How many times was that somebody other than family? Right? If
Yeah,
you're lucky.
almost more. Right, I was about to say, almost more often than not.
Yeah, if you're lucky, or if you were in the space to accept it at the time. And so a lot of these kids might not be accepting what they want to flirt with, and that's where the more and more opportunities come. Just because a kid told me, "No, I'm not going to wrestle 10 times," I'm not going to stop asking.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Right?
11th try might be it.
Yeah. When Jackson was a year and a half of, hey, the wrestling was open before he found his way in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that the heart, like, leading with love is not corny or cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not sensitive or sappy.
Right.
Like, you gotta be tough. Like, you actually have to be a true, strong individual to be able to love. And
I
when
definitely agree with that.
the kids see that, they know it. Like, that's one of the few things that does not confuse them. They know what real, authentic love looks like. Care, service, right? So,
Yeah, it's like Dr. Brett Jones, the
Yeah.
post or the video post that we were listening to, Love Heals.
love heals.
We were listening to that in the truck the other day, and
Mhm.
it's a really awesome post, and
Love heals.
tells a story of helping a 17-year-old kid just chill out. So
Mm-hmm.
it was really awesome. I think one of the most awesome moments for me so far has been after the gala this year,
Yeah.
which was amazing. Jordan Burroughs came.
Oh,
He was so awesome.
He is greater
yes,
off the mat than he
Oh.
is on the mat.
so
It's
awesome.
mind blowing who
Yeah.
this dude is.
Dude, that's crazy. We gotta get him down here one time.
Yeah.
He'll
I
love
like
it.
bring him for a camp.
He'll love it.
He's lit.
Oh, yeah.
This dude doesn't hesitate to
He's
feed
class
into
act.
the sport. Like,
So
it blows your mind. Like, it makes you rethink what you thought athletes have to be or what type of personality they have to have.
Right.
This dude's putting it on its side. Like, he's putting it on its head, Greco style. Right? He's like, no, I'm amazing and busy and training my butt off, and I got 4 kids, and I got an amazing
Don't they
wife.
got a 5th kid now? It's looking, they got a lot of kids. You know, I feel like you got a bunch of
Jordan,
kids.
slow down, man.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to keep up with your medals.
It's like Jordan Cannon.
Right? I got 7 medals. I need 7 kids.
Yeah. That's actually funny. So.
But he was great. Like, and I got to see him be a father.
We'll get this done too.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Get drunk.
I got to see him be a father. We went putt-putting after the gala, like the next day after the gala. He's like, you know, come putt-putt, bring your kids, we'll go putt-putting.
Oh,
And
yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
his son was flipped out over missing some shots. And I mean, I watched this dude handle it like a pro. It was impressive. You know, and it just, and so humanity is, the human in us is always got to shine the brightest, regardless of the records and the resume. And you know, there's a lot of adults with phenomenal resumes.
Yeah.
So what? I don't. It's not mine. It's not me. I don't have that resume. But I got kids that want to have lunch 10 years later. I got kids that, hey, Dad, you know, I was the first person they called when they had their first kid. And like, just like I said, goosebumps. Like, just stuff that is the trophies. Is using your heart for what, you know, for what hearts are for.
That's awesome. All right, so how can we give back to Beat the Streets? How can we get involved? Like, from like average wrestling fan, how can we donate? How can we do this? How can we push it?
We do a good job at opening up those portals. So like Beat the Streets, so btscle.org is our website, and you know, we were wise enough to put that donation tab on the front page.
Yeah, you got to, right? Yeah, there's certain things you got to
if
do.
you
right?
have to scroll down at all, you're gonna miss it or
You know,
something,
for
right?
real.
So
It's gotta
it's
be
right
like
there.
top right hand corner.
Yeah.
It's got to be on there.
So right now we're actually we have this, like I said, there's Beat the Streets National,
Right.
and they paired up with A6, and A6 has kind of like this brother sister company called Gear to Compete, and they've set it up where it's like you donate $50, you've just donated $250 worth of gear to a kid.
Gotcha.
Right? You donate $25, you just donated a pair of shoes
Right.
to the kids.
So what's this on again? So how can people reach this? 'Cause it's
Beat the
kinda tight.
Street, btscle.org.
Okay, great.
There's also, you know, Beat the Streets National as
Awesome.
the website.
Yeah, I'll post the link on it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of Instagram. I think Instagram they pour into a lot as a social media outlet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, pretty sure. I think I follow like one Beat the Streets page. Maybe follow
Mhm.
that.
And then we'll have our
Maybe
second
you guys
annual
follow.
gala
yep,
sometime.
yep,
I
we'll be
think we're
happy.
planning
cool.
it for June of this year. So if anybody wants to come up and visit us and
Yeah.
watch some really great wrestling, this past year we had a clinic. Jordan came, Lee Kemp came.
Weird. I was this close to getting Sammy Jones.
Yeah, see, I'll come for some Greco guys.
See, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
y'all get a
saying.
Greco guy out there.
Yeah,
I'll be
really
there.
amazing clinicians come in and do a clinic before the gala.
Right.
That's donating too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, just being willing to share knowledge,
Yeah.
just being willing to,
Oh definitely.
you know, be on a Zoom with our kids on a random evening, right? Because again, there's an hour of time that you're controlling temptations, you're limiting idle time, you're just giving them something to look forward to in the evening or in the morning. It's wild. That's how that stuff adds up, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Another way to donate, not necessarily money, but like if you go onto the Beat the Streets national page, they'll have a list of chapters. I would highly recommend just contacting the head of the chapter and being like, hey, I've got a little extra time here or there, you know, like I'd love to try to help. We have so many coaches that just help whenever they can.
One of our best new coaches
Yeah.
is a dad. Is one of our kids' dads.
Yeah.
And you know, he's like, I've just been doing Uber. I just
yeah.
started to build in time to see my son more. So if I'm around wrestling and he's doing it, then I get to see him more. But at the same time, like he's fathering. I'm watching him father all these other little kids. And I'm
Right.
like, come here, right here, right, stay right here you know, I need you. I need you.
Sometimes the hardest part for these kids is just getting to the practices.
Transportation.
So transportation is a
My
huge,
God, you've seen like
huge.
Well, I mean, I can imagine what it's like for
Yeah.
you guys in the city, but
yeah.
we're like in the suburbs right now. But
Yeah.
yeah,
like I mean,
no, it's rough.
at the beginning of our Beat the Streets meetings, I knew to stress transportation, and like it kept getting pinned for later conversation, and I just got frustrated. I'm like, no, we are talking about transportation right now.
Yeah.
So how do y'all deal with that?
How do you?
We just got a
We
van.
just got a 15-passenger van, so you know we can get kids to tournaments. We can get and take some of that responsibility off parents. Like I got a kid who lives right by where I coach high school, and so I'm gonna grab him and take him to the youth practice at night, and you know drop him back off. But communicating, like it's hard to get a lot of our parents to admit that they need a little help.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's admit that, hey, I don't have a car.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah, it's hard. I know it's hard to reach out for help. You know?
Yeah.
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 It's
And so
definitely hard to
you
reach
try
out.
to notice things without mentioning things, right? You know,
Yeah.
observation, obligation kind of thing.
Right.
And so transportation, man, that's the hardest. I almost
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I had
100%.
Meech like start an Uber account, like just send an Uber to go
We
get him.
spend so much
It's
time
tough
trying
on
to
that.
coordinate transportation,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
just because kids don't have it.
Right.
So they need it.
Yeah, so we could use a bus, 2.
Oh, yeah. Buses.
Yeah.
Nice.
What else could y'all need?
Wink.
You know, let's put it
Right?
out there. You know, what do we really need
A
here?
building.
Yeah, building, a
Right.
bus, right?
Yeah.
This
Bus,
is good.
yeah. Man, socks,
Oh, socks.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Socks.
Socks.
It's the women's wrestling. Like, there's many needs there of
Oh,
just
yeah.
Right, like clothing and stuff like
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Sports bras.
that. Right.
like
Literally,
just, yeah,
like
things
sports
you
bras.
overthink or overlook, or
Yeah.
maybe just the things you always had and you don't realize.
Shoes. Shoes.
So many
You know,
items.
shoes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wrestling shoes.
Yeah.
And just good adults.
Oh, yeah.
More
Good
help for
adults.
Right.
Yeah.
More kids showing up. Right?
Maybe we can just have like a smidgen of time, you
Yeah.
know. Doesn't have to be full tilt all the
Mhm.
time. Just willing to show up or, you know, and give whenever they can of their time.
Yeah. Yeah. Little equipment like rubber bands. You know, like having a set of rubber. Athletic bands.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just the things where some of these kids aren't ready to toss each other, but
Yeah, they need some strength and conditioning.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make sure they're safe to compete first.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot to that.
There is a lot to that. I'm like, a lot of these high school coaches wonder why kids get hurt so fast.
Mhm.
Like, you know, it's because this
Oh,
kid
yeah.
never played a sport ever, right?
Mhm.
Like his body's not acclimated to
Exactly.
doing hard things. You know, like there's a lot of that. I'm like, yeah, no wonder this kid tore his ACL. You know what I mean? He never ran.
Yeah.
You know, so
Mhm.
yeah, I do see a lot of
Yeah.
that for sure.
Um,
Yeah, that's actually really funny.
even
Snacks.
this is
nutrition.
yeah, snacks,
Yeah.
nutrition, stuff like that. This is a great one, I think. But I'm a chiropractor, so I'm a little biased.
Oh, yeah.
But a doctor around Atlanta actually donated a table to me to put into our Beat the Streets
Oh,
facility
that's awesome.
whenever
Yeah.
we have that. And then another doctor out in Pennsylvania donated me 3 tables.
Oh wow, yeah.
So we're actually picking up the Georgia table this weekend. So
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
partially
really
why I
awesome.
came down in the
Just
first
carry
place.
it,
And I
right.
was, oh, let's like loop in Jackson's visit and also talk to Khalil and you know all the
Yeah,
things.
dude, I'm glad you guys got a
So-
lot out of being here. Then yeah, this is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this it was definitely like we're kind of putting together our. All right, who else we gotta bring in?
Right.
Right, like Nick and Davion. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Who else do we gotta get done
Yeah,
here?
I see that.
But yeah, so
All right, so to kind of close out, how can we follow, support, like, share, all that stuff?
So
I
that-
always tell people, bro, if y'all don't follow, we're gonna have a problem. If you don't like it, I can't make money. If you don't share it, people don't see it. So you gotta like, share, subscribe, and comment. So I always tell people that every single time. So how can we like, share, subscribe, comment,
See
follow, all
Instagrams,
that stuff?
BTS
Instagram.
Cleveland.
we've got Facebook page.
Facebook, Beat the Streets Cleveland.
Okay, awesome.
Almost any chapter is gonna be like Beat the Streets Chicago, Beat the Streets Philly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right,
Beat
so
the
as long as we
Streets.
put in beat the streets blank,
there
you
will
can
be
get to the
stuff that pops
affiliations,
up.
right?
And if nothing pops up, then you're gonna get Beat the Streets National.
Perfect.
You're gonna get that our overarching support and
Awesome.
stuff like that.
Or if one doesn't pop up, and you have some time, be like,
Let's
maybe
make
I'll
it.
start something.
I know, right?
Right.
So-
Beat the Streets Atlanta has a ring to it.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
sounds kind of good, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
yeah,
it
sounds
does.
kind of good.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll definitely get on that soon. I'm
Yeah.
sure somebody down here will be willing to do it.
Yeah.
And more
Sure.
They
people
need
do,
it.
more people doing what you do. Like
Mhm.
more people just willing to have the conversations, to ask, and not just think that like we do it because we're good at it.
Right, like what is
I've
that?
Yeah.
never, I've had the hardest time thinking I'm good at this.
Yeah,
That's
same.
the hardest thing to like just rest on. Like I'm not good at this.
Mhm.
All right.
Right? These
Like
kids
constant
remind me all the
struggle.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
You got some work to
Like
do
constant
sooner.
struggle,
Right.
yeah.
Coach, why the hell did you do that? I don't
That's a
know.
great
Right.
question.
No clue. But thank you.
I'll do
thank you
better
for calling
next
me out
time.
Right.
in front of everybody.
Yeah, like I really needed that today.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we'll go ahead and close out on that. Make sure you guys like, subscribe,
Yes.
share, all the
Follow
stuff. Follow them, guys. Beat the Streets needs it. Wrestling needs the publicity, so don't skimp on those likes. Do not. All right, we out here, guys.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Thanks.